Want a knife with some balls? Stay tuned. Yes, you heard me right. This is a knife that has balls. It's a male knife. No, it has ball bearings. And of course, you can see it's also a flipper. This is the Ganzo G7522, or it could be also referred to as the G752. GearBest did send me this sample for review. If you are interested in any time, please check out the description box. I have some short specs on this as well. It says it has a link to this knife. It's only $21. It's hard to go wrong with it, but we will check it over from top to bottom, make sure it's good to go. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe these videos if you like it. It helps me out a lot. Also, these days everyone is saying click on the bell because they don't get notification even though they subscribe to people like me. So click the bell, please. Support my channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a close look. This knife is available in the green that you see here, sort of an OD green. It's also available in black and orange, as you can see. Now, it is 4.8 inches closed. You have some nice G10 scales over a skeletonized stainless steel liner. Might be a little hard to see there. I think you can see some of it right there. It helps lighten it up a little bit, but it still is kind of hefty. It is 5.1 ounces. Here's the box that it came in. I'll let you take a quick look. You can freeze frame it if there's anything that I'm sort of going by too quick. Came in this little slidey thing that comes out, and inside it was inside this bubble wrap, and they also give you this pouch. I want to talk about the clip. It can go tip up or tip down, but it's always right-handed. But if you notice, it is a deep conceal kind of clip, so I have my pants here, so we can go ahead and slide it in here. Take a look at what it looks like in the pocket, and you can see it does conceal quite well. So this knife deploys in two different ways. You have ambidextrous thumb studs. They're blue for some reason, along with the pivot screw, which is a Torx screw construction, by the way, everywhere. The back, you have a sort of a half spacer. Looks like G10 in there also. But getting back to deployment, you could use the ambidextrous thumb stud, sort of pyramid style there, or you could use the flipper. Works great both ways. It is very fast. You would almost swear it was an automatic. Why? Because down in here you don't have just plain old washers, Teflon or steel or anything like that, or brass phosphorus, phosphor rods. You have ball bearings in there. That makes it just fly out. It is super fast. You can see I am not using any hand motion whatsoever. Just flips out really nice. The lock is a frame lock. You can see right here, even though it's sort of behind the scales. That does help prevent overextension. But you can see how thick it is. And it is rock solid. It has a lot of room to wear there. It's about halfway behind the blade. I would have liked it if it were a little more, but you have a lot of room to wear there. Lockup is solid. No up and down play, no side to side play. You can see there's a little hole there. That's where the ball bearing is, the detent. So you can see how it locks in there, and it is tight. Retention is good. I think they also call that a retention ball. Let's go ahead and deploy this again and talk about the blade. It is a 3.5 inch blade, 440C drop point blade with a very nice stonewash finish that you could also see here on the bolster of the knife. You have this blood groove on the top. I'm not a big fan of that, but it does help it lighten it up just a little bit, even though, again, it is 5.1 ounces. You have a little bit of decorative jimping there. It doesn't really function too much at all. However, that flipper does come down here to prevent your hand from sliding onto the blade while thrusting or stabbing. You do have a sharpening choil right there. You do, again, have a little bit of jimping back here. And you have a little bit of a, I don't know what to call this, but it also helps, you know, keep your grip as far as when you're pulling that knife out of whatever you stabbed, sort of helps. The texture on the G10 is marginal. It's not that good, so I'm glad they have all this other stuff going on to help you maintain a good purchase on this knife. Last thing about the blade before we start our test, there is a very slight shallow grind to this blade. It's almost a flat grind. You do have some flat areas, so if you have a sharpening device that needs to clamp on, you can So to take care of that, it will work. So let's go ahead and start testing different things about this knife. You could see that blade centering is quite good, slightly to your left, but there is no rubbing within the liners. The retention again was good. We already tested it. Deployment is nice and fast. Lockup is solid. No up and down or side to side play. And there's where your frame lock looks behind the blade. You can do some slight adjustment using a Torx screwdriver. On this one pivot screw, there is nothing going. Oh, there is also a Torx on the other side. So you can adjust it even though it has some funky looking Torx screws. I'm not a big fan of this blued kind of thing going on here, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and get my notes and we'll test out how sharp it is. I have not sharpened this. I have not oiled it. You are experiencing the out-of-box experience with me. And that's a push cut. So very, very sharp. Go ahead and see if we can shave with it. And yeah, it's taking off hair. This is the last thing I like to do. I do not recommend you do this, but I just want to make sure that we have a good strong blade here. This is salt pine. It's not anything too hard or bad, but it just lets you see if there's any fundamental heat treatment problems. You can see that the point is perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and do a last pan across the whole knife before we put this video in the can. So as you can tell, I'm trying to make my videos a little bit shorter because retention is about 5 minutes. I recommend this knife. Now, with Ganzo knives, along with other Chinese brands in this price range, you have to take one thing in consideration, and that is that quality control is not the same as a knife that, let's say, cost $100. So 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10, there might be some problems where you might have some blade play or something like that. Trying to keep it all honest and upfront with you. My example is perfect. I really can't find much wrong with it. The one thing that I do not like is the blood groove, or whatever you want to call it, in the blade. I'd rather have the extra ounce and have a normal blade there. Also, it would have been nice if the clip could be mounted also for left-handed users. That rules out 15% of the people in the world. Once again, I would greatly appreciate if you like and subscribe and press the notify button that's somewhere up there so you know when I post my next video. You could also find my videos on GearObsessionDeals.com, and then you don't have to mess around with any YouTube buttons or wherever they are, whenever they are, whatever they do. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you, and I hope you have a great day or evening. Take care. Bye.